we're going to give it a moment before people get signed in. So after this video loads, I'm going to try and add a time marker for when things get actually started. So we'll see if we can make that an actual regular deal. I don't know if you can tell, you can look, the contest rules, just the easiest confused one is up on the board. So maybe we can get that. If you can see it, let me know. If not, sorry. All right. Let's see, where are we today? Oh, those are all the presentationals. Human domestication, focus of training, the four-way split of awareness. I haven't looked at this one in a minute. I have to, when I get the opportunity to look this one up. Era-based historical living categorizations. So I've enjoyed looking at how histories, the people in history, how their innovations have created the ability for us to be here today, simply by doing something that makes it easier to live then. And seeing, because all forms of living go back to camping, all of them, because we began camping. We went from, if you believe in the concept of evolution and how we have grown and learned and gotten better throughout the eons, then at some point in time we lived like any other animal out there. We lived like the bears or the wolves or coyotes or elk. We lived, that's how we lived. We roamed around and saw something that we knew we could eat, and we ate it. Saw something that maybe we didn't know we could eat, and we ate it. And it either killed us, didn't do anything, like it wasn't, maybe it was fibrous, but it didn't give us energy, kept us going. And back then, I don't know if the people really cared much whether or not it was they died from it or they kept going. They kept alive, stayed alive. And then, I mean, they just roamed around and did that. If they found something they wanted to eat, they chased it down and ate it. At a later point in time, they started realizing that they could hit stones together and create a sharp edge, and that sharp edge could be used for something. Then townships, settlements, cities, countries, And now we have today's living where you can go inside a house with walls and ceilings and roofs and doorways and rooms inside of them, like the old houses, the old thatched huts. They had at most 3 rooms. One of them was for the livestock. One of them was for cooking and general stuff, and then the bedroom. So think of it. Think of it from that point of view. Camping was our original form of living. Once we got smart enough to once we got smart enough to start making shelters, our Neanderthal selves, we can trace our history back to, I mean, we were living in caves, so camping is a way of life and has been a way of life for ancient man. And there is an interesting connection when you go and do the same kind of things. You feel more natural. You feel you're camping either alone or with 1 or 2 other people. There's a campfire. You're sitting around it, and there's this breeze. People are talking. There's lively conversation, and then everybody shuts up. And it's a moment. And for lack of a better way to put it, it's getting in touch with who we were. And it's a valuable thing. So, let me recap the contest. You gotta lean over to see it. Contest. The viewer with the most correct guesses of the next live video subject or topic at the end of the series gets one of our prizes. I'm thinking it's going to be one of our carving kits. So you'll get a spoon blank along with a Bushcraft spoon carving kit, which is a triangular shaped leather case, a straight blade knife, spoon knife, stropping material, strop. I think that may be it. Blade covers. Yeah, thinking we're going to do that. So the viewer with the most correct guesses of the next live video subject or topic at the end of the series gets the prize. Affiliates working within Old Ways Training and its divisions are exempt from this contest. Current students may participate. Your cutoff time will be, for guessing, will be an hour before the next video begins. So this was 12:30 when this began. At 11:30 today, an hour ago. If it was 11:31, that guess didn't count. All right. 1 hour before the next video begins, or 7 days pass, whichever one is sooner. So the last one, Z, you get that. You get the same week of guess time. Live videos will run weekly on the afternoon on Sundays. Chat guesses do not count. So live in the chat, you can talk about it. You can converse with other people in the chat. to try to get a good idea of what the next one would be. All right. Um, guess the next letter topic. Okay. Today's letter, B. B for Bravo. The next letter, in other words, the guesses that you're going to make at the comments section under this video, is C for Charlie. I'm going to use the military phonetic alphabet to assist. So today's letter is B for Bravo. Tomorrow's or next week's will be C for Charlie. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, all that. All right. Additional information. Correct guesses will be added up following the airing of the last live video, video Z, or Zulu, and the winner will be notified via YouTube post. All right, that's our current status. If you're enjoying it so far, let me know. I got distracted. Talking about the old ways of like Bronze Age, Iron Age, things like that. The eras. Last organization ending. Season celebrations. I need to work on that. Hero's Journey. Elemental reset stages. Reset system stages. Condition of the self. So I want to talk for a second about an ancient Japanese mindset. I want to say duality because we're not talking about the same thing, but they're two things in life. And the simplest way that I can put them is one's nouns and one's verbs. So, nouns, person, place, or thing. The state of something. So think about it from that point of view. And verbs, either transitory, intransitory. I'm talking about transitory at this point. So in this way, so we're talking about action verbs. The two concepts are the Godai and the Gogyo. I am not an expert, but I will almost guarantee and bet that anyone in the bushcraft community does not know what these are. And these are concepts that need to be spread. So you got to start somewhere. That being said, the Godai are a set of 5 elements. They are named thusly because each of the elements kind of is a physical representation of this concept. And if you get this concept and you apply the qualities of each of these elements and understand the psychology and how a person feels and thinks, it will help. So things like earth, I need my glasses, earth, water, fire, wind, and void. So void is it's not only have the 4-year. Void is not emptiness. Void is the concept of without form. So earth is stable, integrous, and concerns people who are in the attitude of earth are concerned more with independence. So the mountain needs no help. Everything stands on the mountain, or on other pieces of earth. You don't stand on water. There may have been one guy at some point in our history, but that would be the exception. You do not stand on water. 2 guys. The next one, earth, water, fire, wind. Water being the next one. Adaptability, intelligence, and strategy. So a water person, for someone in the attitude or mindset of water, is someone who takes the shape of the container it's in. right? It's adaptable. It doesn't take, earth. It takes a lot of expert work to create a diamond with the facets. Um, you've got put in a lot of work to change that rock. Water, hardly no work at all. You just pour it into a container. You got the shape of the container. That's the shape it's in. And so it's about adaptability, intelligence, and strategy. So oftentimes it's when you want to go somewhere. If you don't have a route to get there, I mean, all you have is a destination. You don't even have cardinal directions. You don't know if it's north, south, east, and west. Doesn't matter which way you go. If you don't know, then any direction is good. Next one is fire. So the fire mentality is very preemptive, very how do you say, preparatory, and very active. So it's the fire within, right? So passion, directedness. So if you're in a mall and the fire alarm goes off, you're one of the guys that goes, all right, come on, stay here. You guys, single file line, keep going, right? No panic. Do what you know to do. The take charge leadership kind of mentality in that way, the leadership as it applies in situations like that one. That would be a fire mentality, even though what you're doing is helping other people who feel the ground underneath them shift. You're providing a strong, solid foundation for them. So that's another way to look at it. That's another, like an active earth. So maybe the example I gave you wasn't the best. Passion, directedness, and aggression. We all want to be someone who can influence other people. And the more important the person is in our life, the more important it is for us to influence them in the way we want them to be, or do, or act, or say. The base, most ugly way to do that is through manipulation. Knowing someone's buttons and pushing the right ones to make them do a certain thing. Okay. The base form of self-protection is forcing someone, coercing someone, putting hands on and saying, you're going to stand here. The base form of, or well, you've seen the base forms of those. And so aggression is a part of that. Understanding it from the point of view of aggression can be utilized if utilized maturely. So don't be afraid of it. Oftentimes there's people in the world that are afraid of their anger. And they say I have anger issues and I can't get riled up. That has nothing to do with anger. Specifically, what it does have to do with is the fact that we become dumber the more where our emotions are flared. So in an untrained individual, if we operate with a high level of intelligence, um, uh, intellectual intelligence, let me put it that way. That sounds redundant. It's not. And we don't have a high level of emotional intelligence, okay, then there are times when the energy output of an emotion will make someone do stupid things. And it's not just for that situation. It's a human condition. Everyone, it, unless you're a synthetic human being, unless you were created in a lab, and even then it might still be true. Uh, if you came from the womb, you are susceptible to emotions reducing your intelligence. Heightened emotions de-heighten intelligence. But controlled emotions, that's a different thing. Control your emotions. Control your emotions. And you can use them for the benefit of the situation. For example, if you're at a mall and a fire alarm goes off and someone's not paying attention to your directions because you're helping people be safe and work things right, and you raise your emotions in order to raise your voice, and you say, "Stop it! Get over here!" Then you have effectively, if it worked, you have effectively helped a young kid who's frozen crying because he doesn't know what to do to get out of that and do what you had him do, told him he should do. Again, going back to the base understanding of fire is aggression, which is the base of a lot of things, the lowest level of a lot of things. And if that young child is not following your directions, even after you put some emotion into your speech, then he will see you when you go to pick him up as the bad guy. And you're going to pick him up and you're going to beat on your back or whatever as you carry him out to safety. You got to be okay with that. That's what warriors do. We've got a new t-shirt design we're working on in the Woodland Warrior division. And it's, I think you guys would like it. That's so ninja. So a couple of phrases that identify. I think one of them is, "Oh, it's a bigger, stronger attacker, and we still win." That's so ninja. The next one down. This is going to be a little bit of a long one because we still haven't gotten to B. If you got bored and you clicked off, I'm sorry. You probably lost a whole bunch of good stuff. But you'll get a chance to see the whole thing later. So anyway, the last one of the Godai is, second to last one is wind, and that is effortlessness, freedom, and expansiveness. If you have that need, that desire, that artistic expression, then you're in wind a lot. I'm going to quickly go through the next 5 the Gogyo. And what I didn't have written here is the void, which is the ability to move into each and any of the four quickly, so that your attitude matches what the environment requires. All right, and that I call that the condition of self. Right? This is knowing you, right? This is Segon. This is knowing what's going on. Um, the next set is the Gogyo, which is the flow of an encounter. But it is more than just an encounter. It's just this flow. I would call it the flow elements. The Godai I would call the condition elements. This is your condition. And the Gogyo I would call them the flowing elements. Elements in flow, in flux. And we can start anywhere because it's a cycle. So we'll start here with metal, because it kind of makes sense. Metal is the planning stage of something. So if you're thinking about a physical encounter, a physical self-defense encounter, an aggressive someone coming at you, right? At some point, they had a stage where they were planning the situation. Even if all it was that they were sitting back at a club or something like this, and they were looking for a victim, or they were looking for someone they could take advantage of. Right? That's planning. That's them. It's literally. They may not have it, someone yet, but they're checking, they're scanning and checking out, because it makes them, predatory. Predators feel good. That's the fake confidence. And so consciously or subconsciously, creating a situation where they're planning the situation. Water is gathering resources, both mental and or physical. So that one is, guys, in planning stage, you walk through the door, he's assessing you. That's still kind of planning. But then once he says, I want this guy, for whatever reason, then he's in the gathering resources stage, where he's psyching himself up, or talking to his friends. Hey, go around, walk over there. It's around the way. He won't see you, but we're gonna get it. So, like, it's the gathering resources. He's gathering his friend to put him in a more advantageous and strategic placement. Wood is the active growth of anything, and so when it comes to a fight, it's the actual fight happening. Right, it's the middle of the elements. It is the doing of the thing. Okay, there's a stage of doing of the thing after wood called fire, where you're still doing the thing, whatever the thing is, and your resources are being expended, and they're almost out. That's the expansiveness of fire. You're exhausting the resources that you've gathered previous, both physical or mental or intentional. There's a concept in the Japanese martial arts that talk about the at some point someone will lose intention. They will not intend as much damage to the other person, and that person will most likely lose. And then earth, so metal, water, wood, fire, earth. That's the Go-Gyo, the flow elements, and earth is the recovery. So this is after the fight, and you're exhausted, you've used up all your energy, and you're recovering from, your body's recovering from the use of energy, and your mind is recovering, your mind is reeling and trying to get a hold of what just happened. Um, and so that is the go-yo as it applies to physical martial arts encounters. I'm looking for what I had written down. It may not be in this book because I got into the blank pages. All right, well, let me just go on wing it then. Today's letter is B. B for Bravo. B for bags. Kit mentality specifically. So when you go camping, you've got to put in your mind these categories. We think about it. You can think about it as Dave Ramsey's envelope system applied in a different way. It's the idea of you need a kitchen setup, you need a sleeping setup, you need a harsh weather setup that very well may be separate from your sleeping setup. Harsh weather, which includes rain and cold or heat, oppressive heat. You need provisions, right? Bring some food with you. Sure, there's these hot rods survivalists out there that's like, I'll just hunt my food while I'm out there. Or these foragers, which like, I'll just find my dandelions and I'll be fine. Or shroomers they're just like, I know exactly where to find my turkey tails. They're gonna be great. They're whatever the thing isn't everywhere. So bring some provisions. If you don't need them, fine, but bring them. I know someone who, when he goes camping, the most he brings is a spice kit. And I try to talk to him all the time. It's like, hey man, bring some mashed potato flakes, something. But anyway, harsh weather kit, sleeping kit, cooking kit, and think of kits within kits. So the cooking kit will have a fire kit, right? Tool kit. So I always bring a tool kit. This is one of my big things. Is I always bring a tool kit, and the tools have I think there's 5 main tools. You've got a carver, a kerfer, something that creates a kerf. In other words, a saw, carving blade, a border, something to create a hole, and the fire kit, and some chopper. So three bladed implements: a chopping implement, a sawing implement, and a carving implement. A fire kit, and something that creates holes in wood. So like the what do they call it? The settler's wrench is an amazing tool, by the way. So kit mentality. You spent all this time listening to me ramble on about the Godai and the Gogyo, and we finally got to B. B for Bravo. Kit mentality. Bags, specifically. So let's bring it to your personal life. And we're going to go back to what we originally said. Organize your life. You don't remember me saying that? That's okay. The organization I'm referring to is organize your understanding of personalities and how they can show up at different times within the same person. The earth personality, the water personality, the fire personality, the wind personality. Organize your understanding of the flow of things. The example we used was within a fighting encounter, a physical altercation. But this is anything. We wake up in the morning preparing for the day. While we wake up, this is sometimes people do this. Um, well-organized people will do this. They'll plan for the next day at the night of the previous day. So if I were to plan for this live, I would have written down some things and put them where I could find them. I would have wrote down some things so that I would have them the next day. Wake up in the morning, that's metal. Wake up the next morning, that's water. Gathering my resources, getting the gears going, warming the engine, so to speak. If you live in a colder climate, you understand what I'm talking about. Then you tackle the day, whatever plans you have for that day, whether it's going to work or not. If it's going to work, then you go to work and you do your thing. You do the thing. At the end of the day, you are exhausted. Fire. At the end of the day, when you get home, you do little things, and it's because you are, well wrung out. The energy you had is gone. So you're not doing a whole lot. You're relaxing at the end of the day. And then just before the going to bed, you prepare for the next. Organize your life. The more organized you are, the more capable you will be when it comes to adapting to situations, being the solid ground someone can stand on, remembering your passions, and enjoying your freedoms. Jocko Willink. Discipline equals freedom. Is this backwards? This is backwards, isn't it? Which means that's backwards. I can't write backwards. How do I fix that? Can I mirror the video? I wonder if that's possible. I see, I'm looking at things I can do on the screen that I have, and it's got make the camera go to the other direction. I'm on my phone. Mute myself. There's a more menu. Let's see. No. It's for highlights. Anyway. Discipline equals freedom. A lot of people don't get that. When you discipline yourself to do things you may or may not want to do, it creates situations in your life that allow you to do the things you really truly want to do. Discipline equals freedom. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you next time for C. That's going to be fun. Ooh, yes. Both the subject and concept are both going to be really nice. I hope you've enjoyed it. If not, give me a thumbs up. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Enjoy your day.